My dear friends, have you ever felt that sometimes, speaking too much, sharing too openly, actually steals your peace away? Think about it. Maybe once you shared your secret with someone you trusted, and later you realized it became gossip. Or maybe you spoke about your dreams too early, and suddenly people laughed at you, discouraged you, or even used your own words against you. Words are powerful. They can heal, but they can also weaken us, when used without wisdom. Paramahansa Yogananda, one of the greatest spiritual teachers of the modern age, often reminded his students: learn to be silently strong. The power of your soul shines brightest when you preserve it in silence. And that's what tonight's journey on Inner Divine is all about. We are going to uncover the 5 things you should never tell anyone. Not because of fear, not because of secrecy, but because silence is sacred. Silence protects your peace, your energy, and even your destiny. So stay with me until the very end of this video, because what you're about to discover has the power to transform the way you live, the way you speak, and the way you protect your inner light. And before we begin, if you're new here on Inner Divine, don't forget to subscribe and be part of this journey of spiritual awakening. And at the end, I'll also ask you to share your reflections in the comments below. Alright, let's begin. Small Blue Diamond. Point 1, your spiritual experiences. There is a saying in ancient spiritual traditions: when a flower is still a bud, you protect it from harsh winds. Only when it blossoms, do you show it to the world. In the same way, our spiritual experiences are delicate, fragile, powerful seeds of awakening. If you reveal them to everyone, too soon, they may lose their sacred energy. Yogananda often warned his disciples: do not tell others of your visions or inner experiences until you are divinely guided to do so. Otherwise, the precious pearls of your spirit may be trampled by misunderstanding. Imagine this. You meditate deeply one morning. You feel light, you sense divine presence, you maybe even experience visions of higher truth. Excited, you tell your friends. But instead of respect, they laugh. Or worse, they question your sanity. What happens then? Doubt creeps in. The pure flame that burned inside you now flickers. Friends, remember this. Silence protects the sanctity of your inner connection. True experiences need no outside approval. They grow stronger when nurtured in the heart. Think of the great saints, Jesus, Buddha, Yogananda. They often went into silence, into solitude, to strengthen their communion with the divine before sharing their teachings with the world. So here is the lesson. Keep your spiritual experiences close to your heart. Write them in a personal journal. Share only with a trusted teacher, mentor, or someone who can truly understand. Because when you preserve your sacred experiences in silence, they become the roots of unshakable faith. Small Blue Diamond. Point 2, your next big plans. Have you ever noticed that when you tell people your next big plan, your energy to actually do it suddenly drops? Science even supports this. Psychologists have found that when you speak too much about your goals, your brain gets a premature sense of achievement. It's like fooling yourself. You feel like you've already succeeded just by talking, and as a result, your motivation decreases. Yogananda said, energy is the currency of life. Do not waste it in words. Preserve it for action. When you announce your plans too early, you invite opinions, judgments, doubts, and sometimes even envy. People may discourage you, not always because they're bad, but because they see life through their own fears and limitations. For example, imagine a young entrepreneur in New York who dreams of starting a wellness brand. She shares her idea with 10 friends. Half of them say, that's too risky. A few laugh. Suddenly, the fire within her begins to cool. But if she had silently worked, step by step, her results would speak louder than 1,000 explanations. This is the secret. Sparkles don't talk, act. Sparkles don't declare, demonstrate. Sparkles don't scatter your energy, focus it. The world respects results, not promises. So the next time you feel inspired by a dream, protect it like a sacred flame. Let your success announce itself, when the time is right. Until then, let silence be your shield. Small blue diamond. Point 3, your charitable deeds. In today's world, we often see people posting every act of charity on social media. Donating a meal, click a picture, helping the poor, record a video. But true charity is sacred. It loses its spiritual fragrance when mixed with ego. Yogananda taught, "Do good because it is your nature to love. Do not advertise it, for then the doer, not the deed, becomes important. When you give, give silently. When you help, help without expectation. The universe always knows. God always sees. Even the Bible says, when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing." Why? Because the moment we boast about our kindness, it becomes about us, not about the soul we helped. Think about this. When you silently help someone, you create a bond of love and compassion. The act becomes pure. But when you broadcast it for likes or recognition, it becomes performance. Friends, protect the dignity of your soul. Let your kindness be your secret treasure. Let it shine silently in your heart, for that is where true blessings are born. Small blue diamond. Point 4, your weaknesses and fears. Friends, let's be honest. We all have weaknesses. We all carry hidden fears. Maybe you fear failure. Maybe you fear loneliness. Maybe you struggle with self-doubt. But here is the truth, the moment you openly share your deepest weaknesses with just anyone, you give away your power. Not everyone will protect your vulnerability. Some may use it against you. Some may silently rejoice at your struggle. And some may, without realizing, plant even deeper seeds of fear within you. Yogananda said, "Affirmation attracts power, negation invites defeat." What does that mean? It means the more you affirm strength, the stronger you become. The more you confess fear, the more real it becomes in your life. Imagine this. A young man confesses to everyone that he feels incapable, that he's not smart enough. He repeats it again and again. Slowly, people begin to believe it. Worse, he begins to believe it even more deeply. This is why you must guard your fears in silence. Not in denial, but in wise privacy. When you need help, choose carefully. Speak only to a trusted mentor, a wise therapist, or a guide who can uplift you. But do not spill your wounds everywhere. Think of yourself as a warrior. A warrior never exposes his weakest point in the middle of battle. He silently strengthens it, in secret, so that when the time comes, he stands unshakable. So remember this lesson. Glowing star speak strength, even when you feel weak. Glowing star affirm courage, even when you feel afraid. Glowing star work on your weaknesses silently, until they transform into power. For the silence in which you heal, becomes the strength with which you rise. Small blue diamond. Point 5, family and personal conflicts. This one is very important, my friends. In our age of social media, it has become common to share everything, family fights, relationship struggles, even private arguments, with the world. But when you reveal your personal conflicts, you do not solve them. You simply spread negativity. Yogananda said, "Harmony begins in the home. Guard it like a temple. Your family matters, your relationship struggles, they are sacred. When you share them outside, you weaken trust. You also invite unnecessary interference, opinions, and judgments from people who may not understand the whole truth. Imagine a couple who quarrel. Instead of resolving it together, one partner shares it with friends. Now, not only is the trust broken, but outside voices add more fuel. What could have been solved in one day, now stretches into weeks of bitterness. Silence here is dignity. Silence is respect. This doesn't mean you never ask for guidance. Sometimes we all need counsel. But choose wisely. A wise elder, a spiritual teacher, or a counselor can guide. But broadcasting your conflicts to everyone only poisons the atmosphere. Remember. Cherry blossom, protect your family like you protect your soul. Cherry blossom, resolve conflicts with love, not with gossip. Cherry blossom, guard the sacred privacy of your home. Because true strength is not in how loudly you shout your problems, but in how silently you preserve harmony. So, my friends, let us pause for a moment and reflect on these 5 lessons. The 5 things you should never tell anyone. 1. Your spiritual experiences, protect their sacred power. 2. Your next big plans, let action speak before words. 3. Your charitable deeds, keep kindness pure, not prideful. 4. Your weaknesses and fears, guard them, and work on them silently. 5. Your family or personal conflicts, preserve dignity and harmony. Why are these 5 so important? Because words are not just sounds, they are energy. Every word carries vibration. And when you waste or misuse that vibration, you weaken your own soul force. But when you guard these 5 in silence, you protect your inner temple. You preserve your energy. You honor the sacredness of your life. Yogananda beautifully said. Remain calmly centered in your own self. Speak little, listen deeply, and you will discover peace beyond all human understanding. So the next time you feel the urge to overshare, pause. Breathe. Remember, silence is not emptiness. Silence is protection. Silence is strength. Silence is sacred. My dear friends, if this journey touched your heart, I invite you. Sparkle, subscribe to Inner Divine, where we share timeless spiritual wisdom to help you live with peace, strength, and awakening. Sparkles, share this video with a friend who might need this reminder. Sparkles, and comment below, which of these 5 lessons spoke to you the most today? Your reflections matter. They not only help you, but they inspire this entire community. So until next time, protect your peace, preserve your silence, and let your inner light shine. This is Inner Divine, signing off with love, with light, and with blessings for your journey ahead. Milky Way.